All right, it looks like it's about ready to get started here. Wanted to say thank y'all for showing up. I know it's been a crazy year with COVID and then storms and everything else trying to get this done. And I know Mr. Anderson and the rest of the Booster Club has really worked hard at trying to get everything done for our football team this year. So right now, I would like to welcome everybody to the 2020 awards ceremony / banquet, and thank all the parents and the kids for showing up. And at this time, I'm going to say thank you to Shane Anderson. He has been our Booster Club president for the last 2 years, and he has done an outstanding job. So, guys, I want y'all to stand up and give him a standing ovation. Here we go. And if I can have Mr. Anderson come up, and he's going to get this banquet kicked off.
All right. Thanks, Coach Buck. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So first off, I just want to tell you, everybody, that we'd much rather be indoors somewhere, sitting down to a catered meal, having a nice banquet like we normally do. But being that we're in 2020, 2021, this is what we have, and we're going to make the most of it here in the comfortable confines of Bearcat Stadium, and we're going to celebrate these 2020 state champions, 10-time state champion Bearcats tonight. So appreciate everyone being here. So as Coach Buck said, with COVID and everything, there was a time last year that the season was in question, where we were even going to have one, right? So, and I know for me and Jeremy, as parents of a senior, and all you senior parents out here, that was something we didn't even want to contemplate. And I don't know about you guys, but there was probably a lot of tears shed at our house a few times for just contemplating that even happening. But thank God we live in Texas, right? And we got to have our football season. Although it was restricted and no, 50% capacity in the stands or what have you, no good concession stand food, I understand. And so mask on and what have you. But we got to have a football season, and what a year we had. We got to see some really great football out of these guys. And you just think back and you think about, the Frisco Lone Star game, the Cedar Hill game, even though we came up short, what a game. Timberview, and, who can forget the epic battle at Globe Life against Lovejoy and the comeback. Just outstanding football, and glad to be a part of it. So one of the things that, as most of you guys have, most of my wardrobe at home is Bearcats of some kind, and whenever I go somewhere, I've got a Bearcat cap on or a Bearcat T-shirt or something, and more times than not, a lot of times people will come up to me, and you've got your people that'll, oh, you're from Aledo, blah blah, right? You guys are just up there, But a lot of people will come up to you and ask, well, what makes Aledo so special? Why are you guys so dominant, and why are you guys, what's the deal? So, and when I hear people say that, I tell them it basically boils down to three things for me. And the first thing is, we've got the best coaching staff in the entire state of Texas right here in Aledo, Texas, and that's number one. And these kids, these players play for these coaches. They respect them. They work their tails off day in and day out, and they come out and they perform. And it's just it's an unbelievable thing to watch, and I've watched it for about 20 years now. So number two, we've got kids that put in the work. We've got kids that are coachable. We've got kids that come in here, and if you go and take a look at all the dominant and the traditionally good programs in the state, and you look at what they do when it's not football season, And then you look at the programs that are not traditionally successful and what they do when it's not football season. We have 150, 200 kids show up on their summer vacation, 6:30 in the morning to work out and go through PC workouts. And then what do? They on their days off, they go and they put in more work. State championships are not won in August through December. It starts in March and April in off season. And we've got to see over the last, since 09, 9 championships since 09. So it's proof's in the pudding, right? So just a great group of kids, a great group of coaches. But the third thing, and the thing that I'm supposed to be up here for the main part, and it's a big part, is we have a great group of parents and community support. You won't believe the amount of the volunteer work and the hours that get put into it to make this whole thing go around. So as Coach said, I've had the privilege of being president of the Booster Club for the last 2 years, and I've met a lot of great families, a lot of great people I've come close to, and it's just unlike any other place I've ever seen, and it always goes back to for me, it always goes back to the saying about Texas. I wasn't born here, but I got here as fast as I could. That's the way I feel about Aledo. So, Sherry and I moved here about 21 years ago, and not knowing what we were in store for, and look at what's happened in the last 21 years. So, but I'm here I want to thank all of our parent volunteers. This year, above all years, you came through. We did merchandise sales, with COVID and everything, and not being able to put fans in the stands. We had to do merchandise sales outside of town, find other venues, get stuff there, sell merchandise to raise some money for the Booster Club, and we had countless volunteers that put in lots of time and effort. Lots of parents, and there's no words I can speak to express the appreciation I have for you guys. So thank you all. Bearcat Breakfast Crew this year. I think that was a big hit with the players, right? Everybody loved breakfast this year. That was we had a lot of moms show up every Thursday morning for breakfast, and we had burritos and donuts and sausage rolls and what have you. Locker room decorations. We had a lot of parents, a lot of moms showing up, a lot of donations. We appreciate all of that. We had obviously our annual football program that we put together. A lot of parents helping out with helping us, and Michelle and Jeremy picked that up on the Booster Club side. We had a number of parents helping with managing photo shoots and helping put together the layout and getting out the ad sales and what have you. It's that's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and this year with COVID and everything, we didn't miss a beat. So appreciate you guys for doing that. Team dinners, like I said, didn't get to have a whole lot of those, but team dinners, we had volunteers for team dinners, always a big hit. Appreciate that. Concession stand duty, I know you guys got sick and tired of seeing emails from me. I need concession volunteers. I need you to sign up. But being on non-COVID years, that is one of our, besides the program, that's one of our biggest fundraisers as well, is working the concession stand. So we took a pretty good hit there this year, but we made up for it in our merchandise sales, and we got a lot of people got out and did a lot of work to help us cover that gap. Let's see, I think I've covered most of it. But volunteers is what makes this program, and parents is what makes this program work. Your support for the community, your support for the coaching staff, for the school. It's really what makes Bearcat Nation what it is. So appreciate you. Thank you all, and give yourselves a good round of applause. Appreciate it. So in closing, before I turn this over to the coach and the coaches and get the awards started, I'm going to speak to the seniors for a second, and this is something that you guys have heard from me and a lot of these dads here that have coached through youth football, and you've probably heard it from every coach here in the stands for the last 4 years. There's a lot of things in life that you can't control. There's a lot of things that you don't have control, but there's 2 things that you can always control. And you guys that are going off, especially you seniors, that's your attitude and your effort, right? Superior attitude, maximum effort, right? So anything you do in life, it doesn't apply just out here on the football field or on the basketball court or wherever, whatever sport you're in. It applies to everything in life. So go out there and have a great attitude, respect everybody, be respectful of one another, respect your fellow man, and have a maximum effort in everything you do, and you'll be successful. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Appreciate everything you've done. Congratulations on another state championship. You underclassmen coming up through the ranks, let's get it done. Get out there and let's don't miss a beat. Appreciate you guys. Troy?
Thanks, Shane. At this point, we're going to ask Troy Little to come down and his assistants, and I'm going to let him talk about his athletic training program and his kids.
All right, well, I guess I just wanted to say thank you. I want to thank my wife. She's not able to make it tonight, but she's been at all the games and everything. I want to thank my assistants for putting in all the work and making everything go really smooth this year. We did have to move around a lot of things for COVID. We had to clean. We had to make sure that coming in this year, everybody was like, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do for the players to make sure everybody stays safe? And we moved our training room tables apart. We got with our girls and told them what had to be done, and they did it. I got a kick out of it because even the coaches came over and they tried to grab a couple of water bottles, and my girls got onto them and said, no. Coach Little said, you don't touch the water bottles. Nobody touches the water bottles but us. And I was like, whoa, they didn't let the coaches touch them. So, I mean, they took it serious, and they made sure every one of the players were staying healthy. They made sure that they were taking care of business so that we could keep every player out on the field at all times. So, again, thank you, and thank you to the parents. I guess go ahead and come on down, ladies. I'm going to start calling off your names as sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We had a big crew this year, probably one of my largest bunches I had. I had Jenna Claffey. She was a sophomore. Reagan Larkin. She's a sophomore. Maddie Poston. Alyssa Rodriguez. Kinsey Sherrow. And Callie Stevens. Those were all of my sophomores that I had. They're coming back, and they're doing a great job right now. My juniors, I didn't have many of them this year, but they've still stepped up, and they've done a good job. Yeah, that was Britton Choate, Tegan Mile, and Ava White. And my seniors, I can't say enough about my senior class. I had 8 girls this year, and when we started the program, there was 9. They all stuck through, all 4 years, and they worked their tails off. They made this program theirs. They did a lot of work. They did a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, and I really can't thank them enough for all the work that they did. I had Jalen Esquivel. Step out, say hi, wave. We had Maddie Guston. She was a TSA-TA Academic All-State and THS first team. Holly Henderson was also TSATA Academic All-State and THSCA First Team. She was not able to make it today. Caroline Holt, she was an honorable mention in Texas High School Coaches Association and TSATA Honorable Academic All-State. Willow Kessel, she was TSATA Academic All-State and First Team Academic All-State. Sydney Jansen, who's also TSATA Academic All-State and Texas High School Coach Association Second Team. Anya Pike, she had to work tonight. She wasn't able to make it. And then Carmen Cerdas, she wasn't able to make it either. But they all did a great job this year, and we had some plaques that we always give out to them. My newcomer that I had, that was Callie Stevens. Our dedicated athletic trainer was Ava White. And our student athletic trainer of the year goes to Sydney Jansen. Thank you.
While Troy's going back up, most people don't realize how important athletic trainers are to our football program, especially this year, like Troy said, when it's a COVID year and you forget how important water is and being able to get water, because first thing they did, they shut off all the water fountains in the field house. So the only place you could get water was from Troy, or the kids had to bring their own water bottle. And our girls did an unbelievable job of making sure our boys stayed hydrated during practice, before practice, and after practice. Troy Little's one of the top trainers in the state of Texas, and he's got two great assistants in Liz and Natalie. So again, I want to give them a big round of applause for what they do for our football team. Before we bring the coaches down to let them introduce their position groups, there are a lot of people that you want to thank. And first guy sitting right over here to my left, Brody Sharp. How long have you been here, Brody? It seems like as long as I've been here, Brody's been here. So. Brody is a guy who's been a part of the Bearcat program for many years, has missed very, very few football games since we started playing, since he's come through Aledo High School and after. So I want to say thanks to Brody. And then some other people, I don't know if Mr. Lawrence is here or not, Coach Lawrence, Rick Lawrence, who's our stadium manager, does a really good job of making sure everything's ready for us when we practice and play on Friday nights. We've got 3 team doctors that do an outstanding job making sure that our kids stay healthy. Dr. Kretschmar here in town and Dr. Stein, and then Dr. Michael Boothby. And those aren't the only 3 doctors that help us, but those are our main 3 that really, really do help us. A guy that's not here also that's been a part of the Bearcats since I've been here since 1993 is a guy who does all these kids' laundry, Ernest Shipman. I think Ernest may be more liked in the locker room and in the field house than any of the coaches are, because one is he'll give them stuff when they lose their dang stuff, and he's not supposed to. But he does a great job with them. We've talked about our booster club, but again, I want to say thanks to Shane and Jeremy for the 2 years that they put in, and it's more than that because they were here before that, and Michelle Johnson and Mr. Dribdahl, Hans Doobie, all of the group that really did help us this year, because like Shane said, we did not have our big money maker in our concession stands, and how we made that much money selling T-shirts and hats, but they did. How much was it? 100. How much we made? Do you know? It was a bunch. It was more than we ever have. I know that. I do want to say thank you to Coach Wood. He allowed me to come back and start coaching again. I know being an AD is not that much fun, especially with some of the stuff that's gone on here lately with the COVID and all that. It nearly killed him. I doubt that if I ask him to come back and help coach linebackers again, he'll do it because he got COVID that week somehow and spent several days in the hospital. But he makes sure that we don't have to worry about stuff that's happening around us. He makes sure that we have what we need to play football on Friday nights and Saturday afternoons. Angie Timms and Carolyn Ainsley, our two principals, they're a couple rookie principals that have had really good years with what they have been dealt. You just think COVID was hard on the kids and hard on the coaches. I would have hated to be a first-year principal trying to work through that. I still think Mr. Peterson knew this was coming when he retired. Dr. Bone, I think Dr. Bone's up there. She is, I'm trying to remember how many superintendents I've had. I've been here. This was my 28th year in Aledo, 38 years total. Now, I started when I was 10, but, we have been through multiple superintendents. Mr. Stewart was here when I first got here, and then all of them have done an unbelievable job trying to help us promote athletics and promote football. And Dr. Bone has done an unbelievable job too, and she continues to try to make sure that all of our kids and all of our extracurricular activities have what they need. All right, I'm going to start talking about football now. When you just look at what this year's team did, we were the 5A Division II state football champions. It was a three-peat. That's the second time. All right, can y'all hear me over there? All right, here we go. We were the 2025 Division II 5A state football champions. And, that right there is tough enough. But it was a three-peat. Second time in school history we've had a three-peat. Our coaching staff was the Padilla Pole Class 5A Division II Coaching Staff of the Year. That doesn't happen very often. The team was the Gordon Wood Award winner. What the Gordon Wood Trophy is, it's a trophy they give to a school for overcoming adversity and doing something above and beyond what other teams do. Now we shared that award with Liberty Hill, who lost their coach this year, right in the middle of the season. That award we received because of the 10 state championships that we have won. It doesn't seem that long ago that we won the 98 state championship to me. Then I think none of these cats were alive. Some of their parents were still in high school. Maybe not even in high school, probably in elementary school. So it's been a long... How about just turn it off? But when you think about winning 10 state championships, when you look at our coaching staff and you look at our players and you look at our community, it's unbelievable. People ask me, say, Coach, when you got here, did you think you'd win 10 state championships? I was just trying to make it 2 years. I was a sixth coach in 4.5 years. One of them only stayed 2 days. So no, we weren't thinking about winning state championships when we first got here. But what we did see was a bunch of kids who worked really hard. We were in a field house that was rat infested, sheet metal building, no air conditioning. We had to bus to Bankhead Highway where to practice out there on the outfield of Little League baseball fields because we did not have a practice field. Matter of fact, we've had to bus how many times now, Steve? 2 or 3 times. We had bus twice for football practice in the history of since I've been here. So it wasn't a great powerhouse football program. But then we made it to 1998, win our first state championship. We go on a little drought. Then in 2009, we won another one. And then we won another one. And then we won another one. And when you look at what this football program has done since 1998, people ask, how do you do it? How do you stay on top? Because, guys, y'all know this. You players, you see it. Parents, you know it. When you're on top of the mountain, everybody's trying to knock you off. Very few people like winners. Very few people like winners. They want to see you lose. They start rooting against you. And I think that's what motivates a lot of us. I mean, how many teams do we go play that don't play? Most of them play their tails off against us because they want to beat the state champion. They want to beat Aledo. There's a perception out there that football gets everything. Football doesn't get everything. Football earns every dang thing they get, is what they do. Nothing is given to these kids. Nothing is given to them. They have earned every state championship, and these guys right here have earned the right to be the 2020, even though we won it in 21, 2020 Division II Class 5A state champions. So congratulations, boys. All right, at this time, we're going to have our first position group come down. Who was that? Is that quarterbacks? As Coach is coming down, I'm going to talk a little bit about Coach Joe Ryan Williams. He's our quarterback coach and has had this year it was not easy to be the quarterback coach, but he had one get hurt. It's the first time we've had to play a game without a Bishop or a Davis in a long time at quarterback. And he did a great job bringing inexperienced and young quarterbacks along to help us win a state championship. So, Coach Williams.
Thank you. Number 9, Brent Hayden, sophomore.
Quarterbacks, come on down.
Brent was put in a tough spot this year. Went from the JV starting quarterback. Ethan got hurt. Had to go to be a varsity quarterback. He progressed every week. I'm really proud of him. He's got a bright future. I've got next Braden Fowler Nicolosi Jr. Braden was also honorable mention all-district quarterback. Threw an interception today in practice. Sure you won't see that on Twitter. But Braden did a great job. Came in a tough spot. Obviously, going from the wing team, moving in, not knowing the personnel, not knowing everybody's name, and putting in the spot against Timberview and doing what he did each week was very impressive, and we're really excited about his future. Senior, Gael Castro. Gael moved here in June. Ultimate team player. There's many weeks where, hey, Gael, the opposing quarterback, he's got a really strong arm. We need you to go over there, and we need you to work scout so our defense can get a look. And he would do that because that was what's best for the team. He's the ultimate team player, just a great kid. Wish we had him longer, but I'm truly proud of him. And then last senior, Ethan McBrayer. I think everybody knows Ethan's story. We had an inter-squad towards ACL. It's one of those deals where it's devastating because you know he's a senior. You figure his year's done, and he did something that was just remarkable. He rehabbed, he had a procedure, he came back, and he came back because he wanted to impact the team. And if you're talking about toughness, you're going to talk about Ethan McBrayer. So I want to thank these 4 guys. It was a long year. It was a tough year. But I had a lot of fun coaching them. Just an awesome group. 2020 quarterbacks.
All right, at this time, our offensive coordinator, Robbie Jones. I'm going to brag on Robbie before he gets to get up here and do this. Robbie got here, 2000, Rob? 2000, and has coached offense, defense, done a lot of different things for us. Wherever he needed to coach, Robbie has coached. And 2009, he became the offensive coordinator, and y'all know what's happened since 2009. He's led us to 9 state championships. So I can't thank Robbie enough for what he does and how he runs our offense and makes sure that we score points. So Robbie Jones is going to talk about his running backs.
All right, I need Devon, Connor, DeMarco, Jeremiah. Y'all start making y'all's way down here. I don't see Connor. All right, we're going to start off with the freshman, Devon Keys. Devon started out playing on the JV this year. He got called up about mid-season, did a great job for us. He filled in on special teams and did whatever was asked of him. Right now he's being asked to go over and play a little linebacker during spring ball. He could be the running back. He could be a linebacker next year, but he's going to have a very bright future ahead of him, just a freshman. All right. I don't believe Connor's here. All right, next, DeMarco Roberts. Come on, DeMarco. All right. Pound for pound, toughest running back I've ever seen. This guy had one heck of a football season. He had a little injury early, but then in the playoffs, he probably had the best playoff run that any running back has ever seen. He was averaging 4 touchdowns a game and then went ahead and scored 6 of them in the state championship game to win state championship game MVP. First team all-district, Texas Sports Writers Association Offensive Player of the Year, also first team running back. The Padilla Poll, first team all-state, and he is signed to go play football at Lamar University, where we expect really good things out of DeMarco. Just a little sad note about it. His career in track ended prematurely at the regional track meet. He had a hamstring pull in the middle of the race, and he did a really good job for us on the track, did a great job for us in football, and we look to see lots of good things for DeMarco in the future. All right, last guy that I haven't seen but once since football season's been over. Jeremiah's kind of disappeared on me. Jeremiah James, senior running back. Jeremiah was a great guy to come in as a change of pace guy. Whenever DeMarco would get gas, we throw Jeremiah in there, and we didn't skip a beat. So we appreciate everything that Jeremiah did for us. He was honorable mention all district, and did a really good job for us. And that'll be it. That's all. Not everybody gets to play running back.
Get in there and get a picture with him.
All right.
All right, the next group will be our fullbacks and tight ends. Coach James Paul, Pup Paul. Coach Paul came in, 2 years? This is your second year, Coach? And Coach Paul graduated from Aledo. Coach Paul can tell you what Aledo was like in the 80s if you want to know.
Great group of kids right here. A lot of times they'll go through games without getting to touch the ball. I hope I got them in order. But they do a great job of blocking and, doing things that need to be done that they don't always get recognized for. First one we'll mention is Garrett Key, Jr. We stole him from the linebackers to give us another fullback. He made a lot of improvement as the year went on. I was really looking forward to having him again this year, but the defense stole him back from us. So, anyhow, he did a great job. I'm really proud of him, the improvement he made this year. Next up is Gatlin Johnson, our senior fullback. Can't say enough about this kid. Kind of undersized to be a fullback. You know, at times I had some doubts of whether or not he'd get it done. But as the season went on, there was no doubt that he was the man to be our fullback. He was second-team academic All-State and first-team All-District, and he plans on playing football at West Texas A&M. Really proud of his accomplishments and what he's done. Dylan Ward here. Come on over, Dylan. Dylan is a junior, moved up from the JV, needed him as a backup tight end. He's made a lot of improvement. He is looking, hopefully, at allowing us to run some double tight end stuff this year. Really looking forward to what he does for us. Next up is Jason Llewellyn. He's a little bit taller than I am. He's a heck of an athlete, got a great set of hands. I think, just as a side note, he's probably caught 7 onside kicks since I've been here and managed somehow to run one of them back for a touchdown. We really focused a lot on his blocking ability this year. He's come a long way in that regard. As a result of that, he ended up being first-team All-District. He was a Padilla Poll first-team All-State and a Texas Sports Writers Association Honorable Mention All-State. I think he is committed to, what's that place called again? Oklahoma, yeah. Anyhow, once again, we look forward to his senior year and great things out of him. Who do I have next? Kobe Cook. Kobe was a senior for us. One of the type kids, didn't get a ton of playing time, but was here every day working his tail off, making us better. It's kids like that that make our program successful. Really appreciate all the hard work he put in for us and wish him the best in the future. Next we have Jacob Knott. He's one of the few people who have less hair than I do. But he's also one of the smartest kids on this team. Great kid, worked hard all year. Was first team academic All-State, as I said before. Very, very smart young man, and I wish him the best of luck in the future also. Just a great group of kids, and I really enjoyed coaching them this year.
Coach Rocky Jones. Where's Rock? All right. Before Rock, as Rock's coming up, you wide receivers start working your way down too. I'm going to brag on Rocky a little bit. First time we hired Rock was in 1999. Right? Huh? 97. That was 99. 1999, Rock came in and was our offensive line coach and went on to be a coordinator at several different schools, and then we were able to talk him into coming back. And you know, Rocky is kind of like his brother Robbie. Will coach wherever you need him, and when he came back as our wide receiver coach and passing game coordinator, we got better at throwing and catching the football and running routes and blocking, which most people don't think about wide receivers blocking, but that is one of the things ours do as good, if not better, than any other program in the state of Texas, regardless of classification, maybe even college level. But Rock does an unbelievable job, and Rock is going to, hope he doesn't mind me telling everybody up there, but he's going to retire this year, and we are really, really going to miss Rocky Jones. So, Rock, your last banquet here. Have fun with it.
Hey, Coach Buck, I appreciate it. I'm not going to make this about me. We're going to talk about these kids. We're going to go sophomores first. First up is Jalen Pope. Jalen Pope, sophomore for us, did a great job. Knows all the positions on the field. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Did a great job for us, and everything we asked him to do, he did it. Next up is Hudson Knox, also a sophomore, number 85. Same thing with Hudson. We moved him around quite a bit, and he learned several different positions, and he's got a lot of success in his future coming up. On with the juniors, number 12, B.J. Fleming, Brian Fleming. BJ did a good job for us, started for us this year. Very explosive player, as you saw on the field. Another kid is coming back for us that did a great job and has a bright future ahead of him. Very talented individual, and good things are going to happen next year when this guy's on the field. Number 81, Jack Mitchell. Very intelligent. Jack is a lunch pail guy, comes to work every day. You know, he's always asked me, Coach, what can I do better? What can I do to get better? He's doing a good job in the spring, I've been hearing. So hopefully that Jack is going to have a great year next year and be very successful. On to the seniors, number 86, Dylan Womack. Another guy here every day, does a great job, and we appreciate everything that he did for us. Jacob Costello, number 45. Not here. Mendez not here. Dorian White, number 22. Best hands on the team right here, I'm telling you. Dorian's very enthusiastic, great guy to have in the program. We appreciate everything he did for us. Number 18, Dylan Martin. Dylan, very talented receiver, played multiple positions, did a good job for us, played hard, and he had some injury problems that kind of sidelined him there for a little bit, but very proud of what Dylan did for us in our program. Number 15, Luke White. Another guy that knew every position on the field, did everything we asked of him. Very proud of Luke and what he did for the program. Number 2, Jadon Pellegrino. Jadon was also first-team All-District. I also failed to mention B.J. Fleming was second-team All-District. Sorry, B.J. 2-year starter for us. Did a great job for us. Helped us quite a bit down the road in the playoffs whenever we needed a really good possession receiver who we could always count on. When we threw him the ball, we knew that good things were going to happen, and he was going to catch the ball for us. Left his mark on the program. Proud of Jadon. Number 1, JoJo Earl. District 5A MVP. Padilla Poe 5A Division II Offensive Player of the Year. Texas High School Coach Association, second team all TWSA, sorry, Coach, what is that? TSWA. Texas Sports Writers, sorry. Second team All-State, also is signed with Alabama. JoJo has broken every record the receiver has at this school. Great individual, great kid. One of the most explosive football players I've ever seen. People ask me, recruiters and college people say, what do you think about this kid? And I said, they're calling him by his initials later. And they said, what are you talking about? I said, NFL. I think he's got that type of talent. So really looking forward to seeing what JoJo's going to do down at Alabama. And the sky's the limit for this young man. Appreciate it. Good job, guys.
All right, Coach Bishop and Coach Wheeler, you want to start working your way down. I'm going to talk about these two coaches first. We're very fortunate to have two offensive line coaches, in Doug Wheeler and Lee Bishop. And when college coaches come in and watch us practice, which they haven't got to do, we haven't sent a Division I college coach since February last year. But when they come in, nearly every one of them tell me how good a job our O-line coaches do. I've had 3 of them tell me that if they're all applying for head jobs, if they get a head job, they're going to try to hire Doug Wheeler. And that tells you something about our offensive line coaches. And Lee Bishop, he does everything. He is our motivator. He's my guest lecturer. Every day, Coach Bishop has something to say about kids and say to kids. Some of it, sometimes I wish he wouldn't say it. Sometimes I kind of cringe when he says it, but it's always good. And it's always trying to make these kids be better kids, not just better football players, but better kids. And if you listen to this guy, you will be better at everything you do. We're really going to miss him. He's retiring this year, even though I try to talk him out of it every day. And if you come out and watch us practice right now, you would not believe this guy's retiring. He's coaching just as hard today as he did in 2009 when he first got here. He is our hammer. He's the guy who makes sure everybody shows up for off season every day. And if they don't, what happens, guys? Does he get in your face? Yes. He holds people accountable. And I'm going to really, really miss him. So I'm going to make them come up and talk about these old linemen now. Doug and Lee.
All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to start off here. Number 63, Maddox Epperson, played left tackle for us. He can snap a football. He was second team all-district. Maddox moved in here this year, and thank goodness he moved in here. Made a big difference on our football team. Number 70, Jurian Lofton. He's a junior. Jurian's improved a lot. He's out here getting after it this spring. He's got a real good chance being the man. Number 71, Caleb Teasdale. Caleb's a junior. Caleb also is in contention for a starting spot this spring, doing a great job out there. I'm thinking of a story here. I'm thinking about that Joe Ryan got up here talking about the quarterback. And this is no lie. I mean, we're sitting here, Coach Timberview, what district game was that? Third? Fourth district game. We're in the third or fourth district game, and this is the game. This is the one we got to win. And, Coach Buck always gets us to we got to go over there, and Coach Buck always gets us to a stadium 2 hours early so we can sit around and think about it. And we're sitting here, and I remember we're down there on the field, and we have meetings beforehand. And the big guys had all come out, and they're kind of half-dressed, and they're mulling around getting ready for the pregame meeting. And the quarterback, Niccolo Fowler, walks down. He comes walking down the alley. And I remember looking over at Doug, and I said, do our guys even know him? Do they know his name? And we actually brought him over, and you got to have to watch. I mean, he came in here later in the season. We had to introduce him to the dadgum offensive lineman pregame because our guys don't do a lot of talking to people. But anyway, I still remember that. That just blew my mind. All right, here we go. Number 73, Gunnar Allen, first team all-district. Gunnar got another year, and he's already played in 30 ball games, 30 more ball games. Great. And Gunnar is that guy who sets the standard for us. If you come in our office, there's a certain standard we roll by, and I would say Gunnar is definitely one of the guys that holds us accountable to that. Number 58, Matthew Wells. He's a junior. Matthew's got a pretty good chance of being one of the guys this year. Being a starter for us, he was in a backup role this year. Number 76, Alex Strzeski. I didn't say that right.
Stresky.
What's up, buddy?
Alex is a second-team academic All-State. Boy, you talk about a guy who showed up every day, did everything we asked him to do. I would say probably on any other team in the state of Texas, he's probably a starter for us. He was our sixth guy. Was always ready to go. We got in several ball games where he had to go, where he was the man, where he started. He could play multiple positions. Very valuable to our success and what we did. Okay, and I believe he's going out to play football, aren't you? Okay, going to Austin College. Smart kid. Number 74, Grant Jeffers. He's a senior. Grant was our right guard. Our favorite run play is 60 zone. And it basically means we're going to take this football and we're going to cram it right up your rear end here, and then we're going to run it behind him. And that's what we do. He's the guy that's in charge of moving people. Grant is a first-team All-District, Padilla Pole first-team All-State, and he's signed with Stephen F. Austin. Number 69, Blake Balderas. He's a senior, a backup role for us. I hadn't seen Blake in a while. Blake's a Canadian. They do things differently. All right, number 57, Brady Wood. A senior, offensive lineman, first-team All-Academic. Dude's really smart. For the way we do things, the way we process things up front, Brady is the, I guess I'd say the quarterback of the group. He's responsible for IDing the defense and getting us lined out what we're going to do. He's the guy that when things don't roll right, he's got to be accountable for it. Extremely intelligent, very accountable to what he does. And can't say enough about Brady and the job that he did for us. Number 55, Elijah Flatten. He was an honorable mention academic All-State. And then the man here, number 54, Rocco O'Keefe. Rocco was a second-team All-District, TSW, that Texas State Writers Association, third-team All-State, and he is signed with Butler Junior College. There's several of these guys up here to me, or what it's all about, doing things right, and I think of Rocco, you know, Rocco to me, it's all about a process. When I look at the world today, it's a jacked up place to me. The one place I can go where things are right is that office in there. And to me, when you get them boys in there and we play this great game, and that particular group, and I love all these guys, but that particular group in there, if you think about what they do, their names are not in the newspaper. They don't get statistics. Nobody really knows who they are except me and Doug and maybe Mom and Daddy up there. But they are in it for the right reason. You know, when we started this season, Rocco was a senior. He's been sitting here waiting for this moment in time. And, you know, we get a move in. You know, there's a whole lot of reasons to sit here and start doubting or start questioning the process. And Rocco trusted the process. Rocco believed in the system and said, you tell me what to do. I'm here. I don't care about anything. I don't care about anything else but this team winning. And that was all that was important to him. And I'm telling you that because by the time this thing finished out and we're playing for the state championship, I can make an argument that the dadgum best football player on the football field is Rocco O'Keefe. And that's my mentality about doing things right. And I think he did a great job of that. Anyway, offensive line.
All right, we're going to be moving to defense now. Our defensive tackles. Coach Andy Clark is our defensive tackle coach, one of our younger coaches. He is compared to the rest of us. Does a super job coaching our kids up, and probably one of the more liked coaches out here. Because he's young, they don't know him yet.
Coach of the D tackles, they get an interesting group year in, year out. Somehow, got a very diverse group, as you can tell, but a great group to work with in the trenches. You know, very technical. Try to be really technical, and You know, they don't understand it. Talk to O-line guys and stuff. We get to fight 2 guys every snap, you know. They're going to double us a lot in our scheme and what we do, and can't say enough about these guys. Had a great year. We got some coming back, and we're obviously losing a pretty big key to what we've had here in the last few years. But first up is a sophomore, Brian Wheeler. He was a JV varsity guy. He played on the JV early on, and then kind of moved up to the varsity. Got a lot of really, really meaningful snaps in the playoffs. Looking for him to do some big things here in the future. Next up, junior Matthew Bell. He's a second-team All-District defensive tackle. Big dog. Obviously a well-liked kid. He's number 11 of 11 siblings. He's got 10 siblings, and so he's a pretty tough kid. Got a lot of interesting stories. Interesting story about Bell. He's a 3-year letterman. He'll be a 4-year letterman. And now this is his stat, so I might be misspeaking here, but he tells me, and Coach Buck might be able to verify this, that he's one of the only kids to come through Aledo High School that could end up with 4 rings as a 4-year letterman. I don't know if that's true. That, you know, you start talking about that, you start rattling off the Bishops and the Davises, some serious names that have come through here. That's pretty impressive, I think, and we're excited to have him back next year for sure. Another junior, played a lot of snaps for us again this year, was Kyle, or as we all know him, Boogie Thompson. Boogie's first team All-District, Padilla Pole first team All-State. Boogie kind of took a sabbatical from Aledo there his freshman year, but we're really glad he came back. He's started as a sophomore, played as a sophomore for us, and has started for us at D-tackle all year. Really good, explosive kid, good feet, good hands. Again, really excited that he's coming back as well. Next up is a senior, George Whalen. Yes, he's still with us. George, great kid to have in the program. Like Coach Paul said earlier, he's a kid that you got to have in the program. A kid like this make this program go. Don't always get a lot of playing time, but they come and punch the clock, work in the weight room. Gonna miss George Whalen. Next up is gonna be a senior, Porter Dionisi. He's an honorable mention academic All-State. Porter's a great kid, very, very hard worker in the weight room. Really committed to what we do. Another kid that didn't get a whole lot of playing time, but fun kid to be around. Gonna miss Porter Dionisi for sure. Last but definitely not least, number 61, Oliver Crow. Yep. He's honorable mention academic All-State. Doesn't look like a D tackle anymore. He looks like he's lost some weight. The stories are endless on him. Really don't know which one to tell, but so I'm gonna have to go with the first time I ever met him, which I'll keep it appropriate as much as I can. But it's Monday. We're playing state game. I got Big James and Jet Barton maybe working an individual, and he's a freshman. He's hurt, but he's there and he's watching. He's learning. He's got a notepad, taking notes, and individual in our corner, which is definitely not the MO with the D tackles. And I'm literally working with Big James, if you remember Big James, and we're coaching him up, and all of a sudden I feel this tap on my shoulder. I'm like, what? And I turn around and he goes, Coach, could you say that again? I didn't get it. I'm like, I look at him and say, dude, when I learn your name, I'll answer your questions. I felt bad, but I know his name now. I'll never forget it. Great kid, hard worker, unbelievably hard worker. Going to miss him a lot. D tackles.
All right, as they're taking pictures, we'll move on to our defensive ends. Defensive end coach is Jacob Bible. Coach Bible, this is his second year. He's also our special teams coordinator, so you don't do the kickers too while you're up? Okay. And so he'll be doing kickers too. So the kickers will come down with the DNs.
Parents, first I just want to say thank you for allowing us to coach your kids the way that we do. You know, the way you brought them up as little boys has allowed them to learn this game. and play it the way we want them to play it. These first two kids I'm going to introduce, they're very, very smart. You know, they're always in our room, you know, when we're in team meetings or film sessions, arguing over who has the best grade in this AP class and this AP class. And I had to Google what AP was, and so I'm proud of them and of their grades. And they got a lot of playing time throughout this last season in preparation because we felt like they were going to be the future defensive ends of this program, and they're showing that right now. Stanton Smith. And Jack Tregellis. Two words that come to mind when talking about number 29, Caden Anderson, call him CA, is exceptional effort. It doesn't matter in practice. It doesn't matter what we were going through, individual, inside, team. He gave exceptional effort, and it proved on the field. Honorable mention, academic All-State, first team All-District, Padilla Poll 5A D2 Player of the Year, TSWA second team All-State DN, and he's going to go play at West Texas. Good luck to you, CA. Two words for the next guy that I'm going to call out, Chris Wright, is high ceiling. This guy's going to go play at North Texas. He was second team All-District for us, and his athletic ability and what he can grow into, there's no telling. Chris Wright. God, good luck to you. Clay, come on down, Clay. Clay, we're going kickers too. Ryan Teichman was a part of the defensive end group, and he was one of those smart guys in all AP classes and straight A's. He was academic All-State. He had to step in when Clay got quarantined this year and help us win a district title at Timberview. Did an awesome job for us. Next is a sophomore. Thank goodness this guy came out. He has exceptional abilities with his legs. He was second team All-District punter for us, Clay Mirador.
All right, as they're taking pictures, we're going to move to our linebackers. As the kids are moving down, I want to brag on these two guys. Michael Corley is one of our freshman coaches, and he comes out every day and helps with the linebackers. Brad McCone is our defensive coordinator, so having Michael come out to help him coach those guys allows Brad to do a little bit more with the entire defense. Brad has been here since 13 now. Brad and I, back in the day, he was a head coach at Crowley, and I knew when we had a job opening and we changed it from, I think, history to math in June, and I thought, oh, crap. I'll never find a good coach, math teacher in June. And Coach Wood and I think we were playing golf, and Brad just came to mind, and I called him and said, first I called Mr. Peterson and said, hey, would you hire Brad McCone? And he said, certainly. And we called Brad, and I thought he would jump on it at the time, and he kind of slow played me. He's a poker player, though, so he's good at it because I didn't know if he's going to take the job or not. But we're very, very thankful to have Coach McCone here with us. Thanks, Brad.
I didn't slow play him. I went and checked with my wife, and I called him right back. So that was a happy day. I was sitting in Everman, Texas, coaching sub-varsity football, and I looked down at my phone, and it's Coach Buck. And it was a pretty happy day for me. I can't say how grateful I am to coach your sons. I tell the kids every meeting, I'm honored to be your coach. When we have our defensive meeting, and that's still true today. I don't live very close to the stadium. I'm about 30 minutes away. When that alarm clock goes off at 5:30, 5:15 in the morning. It's a pleasure to work here. So I mean, you just get right out of bed, and I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be here. So I am extremely thankful to be here. Talk about the linebackers a little bit. They're a great group. I don't ever have to go find them. You know, this one's late or that one's late. I don't really have to go babysit them or not. If practice is at this such and such time, they're going to be there. If film is at this such and such time, they're going to be there, and it's a great group to work with. I did do one of the hardest thing, a little story right quick, is my wife got quarantined, so she quarantined me during the playoffs, that North Forney game, and that was the hardest thing that I've ever done, is sit about 3 feet from the TV and saw Sam Foreman didn't get in his gap, and I wanted to jump through the TV and get close to him. But fortunately, we made it through it, and I got to get back on the field. So great group of kids. We're going to start with Cap Mooney, as sophomore, state championship MVP. Next, this kid moved in a year ago, and Ryan Williams, an 11th grader. Padilla Post, second team All-State, and honorable mention All-District. Next, we got Tristan Thurman, a 12th grader, a program kid. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but I always knew if I had to put him in there, he knew. I mean, he was at practice. He knew what to do. We're going to try to go hang another medal on his neck at the state track meet this weekend. And he was second team All-Academic, All-State. Andrew Flatt, what a story I got on him. He's another program kid. We sat in the office one day, and I said, well, what coverage are you in? And he goes, well, I don't know. Well, and we figured out, cover 3 means 3 guys deep, and then cover 4 means 4 guys deep. And then I asked him a question, what does cover 2 mean? And he said, 2 guys deep? And so it was a good story. And it's never boring when Flatt's in the meeting, I promise you. He's a great kid. Next, we got number 40, Keenan Hess, first team All-District. Padilla Poe, first team All-State. When you think of the term Bearcat, he's a Bearcat. You could put him at Sam, Mike, Will, and he could go execute. We're going to miss him. And then we're going to finish with number 20, Sam Foreman. First team All-District, going to continue his football career at TCU. It's a great bunch of kids, and a pleasure to be their coach. Thank y'all.
All right, as we start taking pictures of these guys, we're going to ask our safeties to come down, and Aaron Clark is another one of those young coaches, I call them. And how old are you, Aaron? About 25? Oh, no. But Aaron, I don't think when I started coaching again that Aaron knew that I was an old DB coach, so he gets a lot more help than he wants sometimes, I think. But he's a really good young coach and does a great job with our defensive backs, our safeties. All right, Aaron.
We will start with B.J. Allen. I'll read off his stuff. He's first team All-District, Texas Sports Writer 5A Defensive Player of the Year, Texas Sports Writer first team All-Safety as well. One real quick thing about B.J., we'll tell him quick stories. Denton Geyer, first year, we're there at halftime, and we asked B.J., who do you have in cover 2? What do you have in cover 2? That guy. And couldn't have been the more wrong answer that he could have given. But I say that this past year, he's gone light years ahead of where he was in learning the game. He's taken his athletic ability, and now he's matching that with his football intelligence and savvy. So excited about next year. B.J. Allen. Next, we have 28, Talon Kessler. He's a junior, was a junior, going to be a senior for us this year. We had a long talk at the end off season about what he needed to do this year, and he's meeting all those expectations that were setting for him. So I'm really, really excited about Talon, and I've got some stories for you, but I'll save those for next year. Next, we got 34, Aiden Olenjack. He's a senior for us. think one of my first interactions with Aiden was a teacher telling me he was kind of clowning around in class, so he spent the next 5 minutes in the push-up position. He tried to take his backpack off, and I told him he could leave it on. But after that, he's a squirrel, but he's a good kid. He did not go the way you wanted to go. Had shoulder surgery right before the elbow surgery. Elbow surgery right before the season started. So he literally missed most of the season. Ended up coming back and ended up playing in the end. But because we were so far late in the season, there are only certain things he could do. And Coach Wood has said it before. One of the hardest things to do is for a season not to go the way you want it to go, and you still show up every day in shorts and T-shirt doing everything he could possibly do. When he got the pads on, he would run routes. He'd kick the JV guys out there. No, you're not giving us a good look. Get out of here. I'm going to go do it. So I can't say enough about his attitude in overcoming that. And it's definitely true. We say it, and it's not a cliche, and I know it's hard sometimes to understand it, but we could not win games without guys like without Aiden. Talon did it too. He was one of those guys. But without Aiden running the routes and doing the things he did. So thank you so much for that. And I know it didn't go the way you wanted. Where did I get? I lost. 23, Eli Valencia. Now, you want to talk about a program guy that does things the right way, you look no further than Eli Valencia, that's for sure. He's one of our captains as well. He's a second-team All-District, Padilla Pole second-team All-State, and he's plans on playing at Tarleton State. He played most of the season with banged-up shoulder. He got shoulder surgery right after the season. Again, this guy does everything you ask him to do and more. He's our captain. It's hard sometimes to be a captain and call guys out the way you need him to call them out and still be as well liked as he was. So Eli's going to be one of those guys we truly, truly miss. So thank you, Eli, for everything you've done for us. We got 17, Mr. Ford Mayberry. He's a first-team academic All-State. Ford Mayberry is leaving tomorrow to go turn himself upside down with a giant stick 15 feet in the air. Anyway, I said one thing I'll tell you about Ford is, to do what he does in pole vaulting for sure, but he translates over to football too. He truly is fearless. All 150 pounds of him will go flying in there and tackling guys he had no business tackling. He had absolutely no fear. Super smart guy. And I know some of these guys would like to have seen the field more, but again, he's one of those guys that does everything to make us better that you don't see on Friday nights. He does that in practice. I want to wish him more than good luck this weekend. So, Ford Mayberry.
All right, as those guys are taking pictures, can we get our corners to start coming down? And Coach Reeves. We're going to brag on Coach Reeves as he's coming down. Coach Reeves and I both had shoulder surgery the same spring. He had his right and I had my left, so we were both crippled at the same time. And I had to try to throw for him. This year he's got his arm back, though. We got him well, and he might have the best arm on the defensive staff. He can almost throw it 25 yards. Huh? Probably offense too, except for Coach Williams. All right. Coach Reeves, we hired him 2013, wasn't it? Or 14? 2014. And when I hired him, he is an old offensive line coach and thought he was going to be our defensive ends coach. And Coach Wood did a great job and converted him into a corners coach and a heck of a cornerback coach. Stephen Reeves.
All right, I know everybody's hungry, so am I. I'll try to get through it quick, but it's been an honor, like Coach McCone says, to work here. I mean, it's hard getting up and coming over here just because I have to ride with Coach McCone on the way over. Everything else is awesome, and I love it. We've got some corners we're going to talk about real quick, and then we'll get out of here. We've got Jaden Allen, who's a freshman, and he's Max Prep freshman All-American, started in the state game his freshman year. We didn't get to go through spring ball last year, so he stepped in, and he was here June, July, August, and then we finally got to play ball in September, and he got better and better and better, and he's got 3 more years to get better. Next one we got is Sammy Steffi, who is a junior cornerback. Sammy was second team all-district and a Padilla Poll first team all-state cornerback. Sammy's been an offensive player his entire life. He didn't get to go through spring ball last year like nobody else did. He stepped out there. He did a great job for us all year long. Got better as the season progressed. And what happened in practice today, Sammy?
Picked off Braden.
Did you tell him thank you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next guy we got is Max Doobie. Max Doobie was first team academic all-state. About third or fourth game of the year, Max moved over from Coach Paul, fullbacks. He came over with us. I had his brother years back, but Max did a great job for us, kind of like everybody else has been talking about. If we needed help, Max did it. He lined up at receiver and ran routes, did whatever. Max also top 10%. I got to go to that banquet with him on Monday also. Next guy we got is Blake Walters. And I guess I've had Blake for 4 years now and love him. He's awesome. He lined up, did whatever we needed him to do. Got to play some games, do everything else, but Blake's a great kid. We got Logan Thomas next, LT. I mean, I could say the same thing about these three seniors I've got up here. LT, Blake, Doobie, all three of them lined up, did whatever we needed them to do in the playoffs and in practice and everything else. And when LT was a freshman, I still remember him. He came to about right here on me. And now he's taller than Blake. That's all right, Blake. All right, there's your corners.
Okay, there's one more group of awards that we give out every year, and we started doing this, 28 years ago. And these awards are awards that are voted on by the coaching staff. And, you know, I bragged on the coaches, and we were talking about it during pre-practice today. Robbie and I were, and you know, this time of year, a lot of staff start calling around wanting to come watch you practice. We had a guy come all the way from Michigan to watch us practice this past week. And we're always having people wanting to come in and watch. And I've started getting, now we're getting coaches that are ADs that are calling, wanting to know about our numbers as far as players, how many players we have. And, you know, we have more players than just about anybody at our level, and more than a lot of 6As, honestly. But Steve Kiesler, a good friend of mine who's the AD at Southlake, he called the other day and he said, hey, Coach, I want to talk to you about your budget. Our budgets over here at Southlake aren't too good. And he goes, I want to look at yours. And I went, oh, you don't look at ours. That's not one you want to compare it with. And he said, well, how many coaches do you have? And I said, you don't want to look at that either. And, you know, Dale Matlock from Everman called and wanted to know how many middle school coaches we had. And I said, Dale, we got half as many as you do. He has 10, I think, and we had 5 at that time. Now we got 6. We hired one the other day. Varsity coaches, and the way we do our coaching, and a lot of you look up and you say, oh, you got a bunch of coaches. Well, every one of our coaches coach freshman, JV, and varsity. So they coach 2 freshman teams, 2 JV teams, and a varsity team. And we have 14 high school coaches plus the head coach. Most staffs in the state of Texas right now have 10 to 14 just varsity coaches, then 6 to 8 JV and freshman coaches. So what I'm saying is these guys spend a lot of time coaching your kids. And they are unbelievable men and football coaches and classroom teachers. If you go ask the principals, I'm sure they'll tell you how good they are. And I guess they've got to be pretty good, because this week we're having practice in the evenings because all of them are out administering tests right now to help our kids pass their tests at the end of the year. Getting on to what I'm supposed to be talking about, though, is these seniors. Unbelievable group of seniors. I'm gonna miss every single one of them. And I know some of the guys, as the coaches talked about, they call them program guys, and didn't get to start at games or didn't get to play as much in games as they wanted to, but they show up every single day and step in and do whatever it is they need to do to make our football team successful. And what we want them to do by what they learn by playing football is to take that and translate it into life later on. One of the football players we had here back in the 90s, his name is Matt Morris. He's a very successful businessman in Fort Worth. He sends me a note nearly every year thanking me for what we did for him to turn him into the dad he is today, into the businessman he is today. And when we're coaching them, we don't really think that much about that, but that's what we're trying. That's what we want to see you guys do. Yeah, it's fun playing football, but football's going to be over one day. Everybody's football career is over at some point. And at that point, you got to, whether if it's college or high school or professional, whatever it is, you always got to know what you learned from playing football and translate that into life. And, we won a state championship, and I heard Mac Brown say this a number of years ago, and I tried to say it to our kids after state championship games and at banquets. Winning a state championship was really, really neat. It's big, and I want you to be proud of it for the rest of your life. When we get those rings here in a couple of weeks, I want you to wear them, and I want you to wear them proudly. But don't let winning a state championship be the biggest thing you ever did in your life. Be a great daddy one day. Be a great employee or a great boss, or hell, be the president of the United States one day. But I want you to be better than just winning a state championship. And I'm talking mainly to you seniors. So take what you've learned and build on it. Be better young men than the other guys. Don't just be state champions. Be better people, all right? Now, our senior awards. Offensive Lineman of the Year. This goes to a senior offensive lineman that has gone above and beyond, and Coach Bishop kind of tipped us off a while ago who it's going to be. Rocco O'Keefe. As Rocco is coming down, we're going to talk about the Defensive Lineman of the Year. Congratulations, Rocco. Stay down here with us. This guy, he tried not to play this year. He decided he was going to be a boxer or something. But he stuck with us, and I don't know if he had as much fun this year as he did when he was a freshman out there taking notes, but he did. He was a heck of a football player, and our Defensive Lineman of the Year, Oliver Crow. He's going to be a chef now. Our most valuable offensive player of the year, and guys, there's no doubt who this guy is, DeMarco Roberts. As a head coach, you don't always get to know the players as good as the position coaches do, but I picked Marco up for about a year and helped get him to school. And, one thing that always impressed me about him, the first thing he said when he got in the car was, "Thank you, Coach, picking me up." And every morning he thanked me. And, not all kids do that. We had another running back that I picked up that just went back to sleep when he got in the car. Marco, proud of this kid, and I look forward to watching him play at Lamar University. Most valuable defensive player, again, we're not talking about state championship without this cat, Caden Anderson. Caden, if he doesn't return that blocked punt, I think Oliver blocked it, didn't you? Oliver blocked it, and Caden returned it for a touchdown against Lovejoy. If that don't happen, we don't win. We have another award. It's a Heart Award, and this year we had two guys, an offensive guy and a defensive guy, that ended up with the Heart Award. These are guys that are program guys who do everything you need, everything they need to do, they do. They overcome injuries, they overcome size, they overcome people trying to take their spots, and become Bearcats and do a great job at it. But they are Brady Wood and Eli Valencia. And the last award is the Bearcat Award. When you think about a Bearcat and you think about what it takes to be a Bearcat, and you want guys who show up for practice every day and work every rep, they give you 100%. And we've had, this is our 28th Bearcat Award winner since I've been here, and I can't think of another one that has been as good as this dude. And I know I haven't had one that had a smile on his face every day in practice like JoJo Earl. Congratulations, JoJo. All right. 2020. Class 5A Division II state champions, boys. Can't tell you how proud I am of you guys and what you have meant to all these coaches in this community. Something that's very special, and we are thankful to you seniors. Before we end, I believe Ms. Johnson has some stuff she wants to cover real quick.
Okay, we have a little surprise tonight.
How many of you all have ever received an email from Shane or Jeremy Anderson?
Raise your hand or stand up or whatever. Okay.
How about how many of you players or coaches have ever seen or been helped by or simply encouraged by the Andersons?
How many of you boys have ever been fed by the Andersons? Which we know it's like super important. Okay. So hard work, dedication, loyalty, commitment, patience, determination are only a few words to describe Shane and Jeremy Anderson, the Bearcat family of players, coaches, administrators, families value the time, effort, and countless hours and service that the Andersons have given to our football program. So Shane and Jeremy Anderson, thank you. Thank you for your constant behind-the-scenes organization. You have no idea, honestly, what that looks like. And we know that you're constantly, your drive for excellence and willingness to support every single member of our Bearcat family and program. Your unselfish service is appreciated and extremely valued, and we can't give you everything that you deserve, but we definitely want to give you some time away in one of your favorite places, and we hope that you will take the time now that you have it because you haven't had it before. So thank you. I hope that you'll enjoy it. Please, everybody, let's give them a round of applause. They deserve it. Hey, Brody.
those emails and all that stuff, they didn't come from me. That woman right there is the worker in the house. I'm just the grunt. We sincerely appreciate that. Thank you all. Just a couple of things, quick things before we get out of here, and we'll let you go. Coach Aaron Clark, thank you for the highlight video that ran before we started tonight. I don't know if you guys got to see a lot of it, but Coach Clark always puts together a great highlight video for the season. We ran it on the video board. Thanks to Rob Lowe for running our video board and our sound and everything tonight, and getting us set up here. Kristen Morales, thank you for the backdrop on the video board and the state championship pick. Players, before you get out of here, if you have not signed the posters and the football in the concession stand down here, please go do so. Fans, we've got an online auction coming up soon. You'll be getting at least one more email to kick that off. We've got a couple of footballs, some posters, some helmets that we're going to auction off that's signed for the state championship Bearcats. So you'll be seeing that information coming soon. We've got the state championship trophies, all 10 of them sitting out here on the field on the tables. Please go down and take some pictures. All right. Thank you guys all for coming out. And hey, it's 2020 state champions, 10-time state champion Bearcats, guys. Here we go. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.